Our next speaker is a long-term diplomat with a deep understanding of how the mullah's regime has operated in the Middle East. He was appointed by President Clinton, served 4 years as U.S. ambassador to Morocco. Prior to that, he served as National Security Legislative Assistant to Senator Kennedy, and during the Carter administration, he served as the White House liaison for Secretary of State and Deputy Senior Advisor to President Carter Middle East policy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ambassador Marc Ginsberg.
Hi, everybody. All right. We can applaud when the mullahs fall, okay? And they're going to fall real soon, okay? So my friends and supporters of a free and democratic Iran, I really am grateful to join you today because we're here to protest, but also to protest the visit of the so-called president of Iran, Masoud Pezeshkian. You know, he likes to present himself as a reformer. He likes to say that Iran wants to turn a new page. Well, let me send a message to the president. The only page we want to see is when the regime is overthrown. You know, he can't really hide the fact that this is a terror regime. It is unreformable, it is unsalvageable, and it is incurable. You and I know that no matter who the Ayatollahs place at the top of the cabal, dictators never, ever, ever change their spots. We know what lies behind the project of the so-called Shiite Crescent. It is a tyrannical, terrorist regime whose goal is to destroy the freedom-loving will of the Iranian people and export terror and instability throughout the world. Ladies and gentlemen, they are the illegitimate rulers over a democratic people. No one elected them. The reform the people of Iran desire is an end to the tyranny of the clerics, not just an end to the wearing of the hijab. And this unstable, decrepit, ill-begotten supreme leader and his henchmen will never cease forcing to bend Shiite Islam to their selfish will. They will never stop trying to line their own pockets and destroy Iran's economy. They will never stop trying to destroy Iran's economy in order to buy arms. They will never stop murdering women and children and the men who stand up to them, because the people who stand up to them know one thing, that by standing up to them every day and every night, it weakens this regime. They will never stop trying to destroy our allies. They will never stop trying to assassinate American and European leaders. The anarchy and conflict instigated by the clerics stretches across the entire Middle East, from Iraq into Syria, Lebanon, into Gaza, and into Yemen. It is a crescent of conflict and contagion, and to what end? What do they hope to gain? A nuclear bomb in the hands of radical terrorists? Yes. To overthrow the Sunni authority over the holy places? Yes. The expulsion of the United States from the Middle East? Of course. The end to the international order? How can we let a president of a terrorist regime speak at the ground zero of the liberal order of the world, the United Nations?
Pezeshkian the murderer! Out of UN! No, no, no!
They will never stop sending missiles and drones to Russia. And they will never stop until they are stopped. The message of the protesters is impressively unified all over Iran. They don't want a bomb, they want bread. The sacrifices warrant more than sympathy and admiration of the American people. The world has been witnessing the courage and commitment and wisdom of the Iranian women confronting a regime that considers them to be second-class citizens. Imagine second-class citizens. Iranian resistance is led by women. The National Council of Resistance of Iran's president-elect is a woman, Madam Maryam Rajavi. The NCRI Parliament in Exile is a female majority. Protests are increasingly organized in their messages, in their tactics, and the way they have ensured the flames of hope and human rights that do not die. Ladies and gentlemen, with every protester killed, the regime adds more fuel to the fire of its own demise. Burial and memorial ceremonies have turned to local rallying points. For everyone killed, the quote goes, 1,000 will join. Let me remind you, under America's leadership, every president, Democrat and Republican, embraced our NATO-long allies to push the Soviet Union over the cliff until it collapsed. We knew the Soviet Union was a threat to us and to international stability. The same holds true for Iran. And what is possible against the Soviet Union is certainly possible against the regime. The clerics are not supermen. They are oppressors, just like Lenin, Stalin, and Brezhnev. And history proves that freedom-loving people, if given the tools and the support of Western democracies, can toss the clerics into the trash heap of history. The Ayatollahs mistakenly believe that their new axis of destruction with China and Russia is a license to defy the world and insulate them. They are wrong. I believe it is in the best interest of the United States to turn a page. We must turn a page. We've tried our best. There's no moderates in this regime. I believe that we can do better and must let the Iranian people, they do not stand alone. That doesn't mean waging overt war against the Ayatollahs. Americans must not believe that they must go to war against the Iranian regime. The regime's greatest fear is its loss of control from within. Uplifting and empowering the people by hollowing out the levers of oppression is the key to what we need to do. They can begin, and we can begin, by supporting the 10-point plan of Madam Rajavi to restore democracy and hope to the people of Iran. They can acknowledge, and the people in Washington, my friends, can acknowledge and commend the courage of the NCR's success in revealing the nuclear secrets behind the Ayatollah's atom bomb and its illegal missiles. They can increase cooperation with the internal partisans of the NCRI who are exposing the terror network. And they can recognize the legitimacy and lend support of the resistance unions. They can acknowledge, finally, that the mullahs have not crushed the revolution that continues unabated every day. My fellow Democrats agree. Just ask Senator Jeanne Shaheen or Senator Cory Booker. Just add Brad Sherman, many other elected Democrats who sit in key committees in Congress. They are the foreign policy leaders of the Democratic Party. The consequences of not doing anything are apparent. Our gamble did not result in the mullahs moderating. It's time to change course. A change of this perverse regime and the system of government must come, and it requires a coordinated effort. Otherwise, this regime will just keep arresting and imprisoning and torturing and executing free-thinking men and women. Ladies and gentlemen, Iran's future belongs to its citizens, all democracies and freedom-loving people. everywhere must stand with them, and so we do today. We call for a free Iran. Thank you very much. Thank you.